So you join us here from the Polytunnel at Boyles of Killorglin, where there is lots of beautiful hanging baskets, and that is something that we are going to be making up today with our expert Trish. How are we doing, Trish?
Very good, Alan, very good. We're in the nice warm tunnel
it's
now.
Lovely and warm. It's lovely and warm here in the tunnel. So listen, last week we were talking about bedding plants and getting your beds and how to plan it all and stuff. But lots of people love to have a hanging basket.
Yes.
2 outside the door or maybe out the back or something like that. So for anyone who's looking to get your hanging basket ready to go, we've got the perfect solution.
We have indeed. Like that now, as you say, a lot of people, they like the splash of colour outside the door, whether it's the pot on the ground with the centrepiece, whether it's your hanging baskets or your window boxes. So we're going to go through a bit of all that today as well. Now, your hanging baskets, there's loads of different types of hanging baskets you can buy, right?
Okay.
So what we have here now is a wicker hanging basket.
Right.
So basically it looks nice on the outside as it is. There's a nice chain then to hang it up. It's good and strong. Like that now, when you're putting up the hanging baskets, make sure you have a good strong bracket as well.
Okay, yes, of course, because the one thing you don't want is for
the whole lot to
come
down.
Yeah,
now,
so check that first.
Yes.
Make sure it's not too rusted.
With that then as well, if you've got a 14-inch basket, right, that should be the size of the diameter. The bracket that you need for that is a 16-inch. So don't go for the same bracket, the same size as your basket. Go up to 2 to 3 inches.
So it needs to be a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
Or else it'll just be kind of banging off the wall.
And
Wouldn't
that's
that be
exactly
the huge
why
problem?
it is. Because if you've got a bigger bracket, it comes out that bit further from the wall, and your basket then has room the whole way around.
Okay.
Otherwise, you say it'll be flat up against the wall. Sometimes with the wind, then the basket can be blown around, and the plants will just get destroyed, rubbing up against the wall.
And there'll be one side of the basket at the very back, which will actually just
So have your basket that little bit bigger. So you can have your wicker, or another one there then is your wire basket,
which kind of has the fabric on the inside, doesn't it?
So if you're going with that, then a lot of people have these. These probably would be one of the most popular ones, the wire basket. But you must line it then with a liner on the inside.
Yes.
So obviously the liner keeps the soil from falling out and keeps in your moisture as well. And the green colouring then, it doesn't look too bad.
Okay.
But with them, we'd always plant into the base of these. If you can see there, the basket that's there's plants coming out of the side of it. So, rather than just having plants at the top, the wicker is fine because the wicker looks nice. But when you've got a wire basket, you need to put plants into the inside of it.
Okay, and they've actually got little kind of holes already made
that are
already there that you can kind of have little ones kind of sticking out.
Exactly, so it's easier like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap around. I'll just give you that one for a second.
It's tied on,
No, and I'll just give you that and I'll move this over, right? So what we do, I'll do the wire basket first. As you say, what you do then is you fill the compost up about a quarter. You wouldn't fill it right up to the top because it's easier then to get plants into the side. So we look for our slit in it. So here's your slit, right? So what I'd actually use then would be your trailing lobelia. Now the one I have here is purple. You can get them in reds, you can get them in whites, you can get a tray of mixed colours. So the surprise is there when it comes out in flower.
Beautiful.
So you've got your bedding plants then that comes in the tray, and rather than getting it and pulling it, see the way that's stuck?
Yeah.
What you actually do then is you're going to break the plant.
You're going to break and damage
So
it.
you need to squash the bottom of it and go down the bottom, and that's it comes out.
Fantastic.
Now if your tray is very dry, the plant's in it, give it a water first, and that'll actually come out easier than out of the plant.
Okay, right.
So we've got our lobelia, and we want to get it in there, and we're going, do we go in this way or do we go in that way, or what way do we go?
At it? Okay.
Now with this plant it's easier, so I just grab it like that into a bunch.
So you're grabbing the actual
I'm grabbing the leaves of it, right?
Okay, and we're putting it through one of the holes?
Through one of the holes,
okay.
Right? And
now we're literally lying this horizontal. So this is kind of going out through, for anyone who's listening on the radio, we're just trying to describe it here. It's kind of lying horizontal and it's going out through one of the slits in one of the fabric.
Exactly. So what's going to happen then as it grows, it's going to bush out and it's going to fall down.
So it's perfect.
So
trailing
it's perfect
lobelia
for that. So
it really works.
Now you can actually put in upright plants as well, just as you're saying there, Alan. They're lying horizontal. So what are they going to do?
They're going to fall.
They're going to fall or get bushy. So again, I'm squeezing the bottom of that. It's nice and moist, and I'm pulling it out, and it's lovely.
Okay.
And again, you go like that, and you go around.
We found our next one.
The next one then, and even if there isn't one there, you can actually also make a slit.
Make a little gap.
Scissors, make a little gap. So again, you grab the plant by your hand gently now.
Yeah, not
and put
too
it
rough
in.
with it.
No. So if you do break one or two of the leaves, that's fine. They'll regrow.
Okay.
And just to put your fabric in around it. So So it's actually nice and neat, and the soil won't get out.
And going back to what we were talking about last week in regards to spacing as well. So again, we've got another 6 inches.
About 6 inches in
literally
between
again.
it. And you can see I started up here with one and down here with other. So that's going to cover all that, and that's going to cover all that.
Excellent.
So the next one will go there, and then you're going down.
So it's kind of like a little bit higher,
tier
lower
then as
tier,
well.
stuff
A tier,
like that.
yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Now I have the compost underneath.
Excellent.
So as
Here's
you're going
one
along.
we had earlier, yeah.
So another thing we do with the basket as well is to put in a slow release fertilizer.
Okay.
Again, we were talking about that last week. Put it into your beds. It's the same thing then for your baskets.
The all-purpose Grow Sure plant food granules.
So it feeds for 6 months again. And what we do then is we just scatter it out into it.
Okay.
So before the basket gets up to the very top, you're talking about 3 to 4 inches, you start putting this in. And also as well, with baskets throughout the summer, they dry out an awful lot.
Yeah, and especially since they're off the ground as well too, if there's nice weather, like the heat is going to evaporate them a lot quicker than if they're on the ground. And if the
wind is kind of blowing them a little bit as well, that all dries it out. So baskets do have to be watered every day when it is sunny.
And as well, you're also talking about it tends to be at a height, so it's nearly above you, so you can't really see into it.
Well, see, that's it.
You know,
now the way to find out that, if you had a basket, I even see there's one down here. If you kind of lift it a little bit, you get used to it. That's actually quite heavy, so that has been watered.
Okay.
But if it goes up in the air and it's light, you know then
that it needs
Now to help with the watering, it's this Swell Gel or
I
Stay
love
Wet.
this product. This
so it's
looks
like
fantastic.
little crystals, and you just scatter. Now a tiny amount. You don't need a great lot now and that. So it's like a pinch.
Okay.
And just to scatter it around. Now what happens with that? One little crystal, when the water hits it, it will go really
absorb
big.
it.
Yes, it'll absorb it, and then as the plants need the moisture, the roots then will take the water from
excellent.
that. Now with that, because it's a big tub, that'll last you for a couple of years.
Okay.
Make sure that it doesn't get
sealed.
Yes.
Yes.
And it doesn't get wet, because if that gets any bit wet at all,
sure, the whole lot is ruined.
whole lot is ruined.
So it was just a small sprinkle. We've got our slow release fertilizer all spread around this. Again, it's a 14-inch basket. Yeah.
I like that. We can pretend that all the base of it is done with lovely plants.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we're just doing
you
one
fill
side.
it up to the top then with your compost. So it goes right up to the top. Now I don't have enough compost in that, but it goes right up to the top of the liner, right?
Okay, so we've got all the sides done.
Yes.
Now it doesn't mean that we can't put anything on the top.
Exactly.
So what are we going to put in
the
here?
top. So what you need in the centre is an upright plant and something that kind of will give you a little bit of height.
Yeah.
Right. So what this one is now is a fuchsia. It's a lovely kind of pinky red with a white centre on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuchsias are beautiful. You even see it. You get shrub forms of these as well.
You would, of course,
These
the
are the
dark
summer
red
bedding
and purple ones. Yeah.
So you put that in the centre. Again, now taking your plant, make sure it's moist, and just squeeze the pot,
lightly squeezing it
and
out.
then you have the good root system then as well. So all you do with your hand is just to make a little indent in the soil.
Okay.
And put it in. Again now at soil level. Like I'd rather go a little bit higher rather than going too deep.
Going too deep
right?
into it. Okay.
So it might look tiny at the moment. You're probably looking at this going, it'll be autumn time before that comes. But no, you'll have a plant like that will grow. It'll grow very, very fast.
Now, in regards to then when we're putting the next phase, do we have to take into consideration all the plants we have around? Are we trying to kind of fill the gaps in between?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, because like summer bedding plants, you need to plant them dense as well, but dense meaning like still about 5-6 inches between each plant, so that there's loads of different colour. And obviously then with the basket you need some trailing then to come down, even though these are bushy underneath. We'll show you a basket now that was done like a while back. These are called trailing petunias.
So there's trailing petunias as well?
Yeah, or Surfinia petunias is another name. Last week we went through the upright ones.
And the bedding ones, so this is
so
the
these are your
ones.
trailing. So again, squeeze your pot and out, and what we then, this is going out to the side, so you can see the plant the way it is. You can nearly feel that that's going to grow that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So again, just put it in and put your soil in around it, firm it in.
Now, what you did as well, I don't know, you purposely or not, you kind of put it at a little bit of an angle.
Yes.
Is that all purposely done?
Yes, it is, and I suppose like that, because I've been so used to doing baskets, it's just automatic.
Yeah. So I'll be the
me.
one who just making all these silly, easy observations.
So again, now that'll come right down and can fall down.
Excellent. And what other is that?
I'm
the
going
main
to
one?
match it then on the other side.
Okay.
Right. So then we'll have a blue plant on the other side.
Okay.
Right. So it balances it off that you're going to have loads of trailing on this side and loads of trailing on that side.
Okay, excellent.
And then we have small little plants here. It's a Bacopa, it's called.
Bacopa.
And they're lovely now as well. They come in the white or they come in the lilac one that I've got.
Okay.
Again, try match your colours. Do you know that you're kind of got purple, pinks, whites that they blend in nicely? And what I'm going doing then is a lovely white Bacopa then on the other side. You can see it's the exact same.
Yeah.
So just match it over.
And are these Bacopas trailing ones as
They're
well?
all trailing.
They're all
so
trailing.
all the plants now I'm putting on the side, they're all trailing, and just to firm them down.
And these kind of suit the hanging baskets more than anything, because
They
you
do.
won't really get to see the top ones. So we've got our
just your bushy,
centerpiece, the bushy one, and everything else will trail over.
Down.
Beautiful.
And what you can do then in between is just to put a bit of lobelia in between.
Okay.
Or the Sweet William, pansies, busy lizzies, anything like that can be put in between it.
Okay.
So that it just gives a nice bit of colour. Now, the Sweet Williams are kind of pinks and purples, so they blend in nicely with all the rest of the plants there as well.
So we've matched up the colours very nicely. We've given them a bit of space. Everything along the base is kind of going to go as well too. So that would be a fantastic.
That's fine. Like if you look at that now and you think, oh God, that'll never come on. But look. One that James has done up.
James, our gardening expert, he's really the potting expert here at Boyles of Killargally. He does fantastic work, and this is a beautiful example.
That's one now that's been done for a while. You can see the plants now, even the plants on the bottom, they will come on an awful lot more.
Beautiful.
It'll get to the stage that you won't actually even see the wire basket.
Yeah.
And then you can see where he had his petunias on either side, the bacopas, and his little bit of white alyssum, and he has a begonia in the centre of it.
Stunning, a beautiful yellow begonia in the centre. And I love the different petunias here.
They're absolutely fabulous. Now the petunias, I only
different.
have purple here, but you can get them in pinks, you can get them in whites, you can get them in reds. There's loads of different colours.
But while the flower on the petunias we did last week were just a dark purple, these are like there's two different.
They're absolutely fabulous.
Nearly, you know?
Yeah, they're fabulous.
Stunning.
So there's loads of different types, and like they're the pinks and purples. You could go reds, whites, and yellows. You can see even there behind us, like we've got loads of the reds and the yellows, and a little bit of white and purple. I mean, all of them are fine. So that's your wire basket.
Yeah.
Now, as we say, your wicker basket, then that actually can be easier to do.
Okay, so this will be easier. So we don't have to worry about the side ones.
Not at all, no.
So anyone looking to kind of start out, this would probably be an easy one to start.
It probably would be easier because the wire basket and getting the things in the side.
Yeah.
Like it's easy for me because I've been doing it for years, but it is a bit tricky. So if you wanted to, as you say, start off, go with your wicker basket. Again, you have your centerpiece, put your trailing plants in around it.
Yeah, you have your slow release.
You have your slow release, your swell gel,
well,
the whole lot. Now, a lot of people, we actually have trailing begonias. You could do a whole basket just with begonias on its own, and that would be absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, if you
begonias
had two
are
of them
very,
either side
very
of the door.
hardy as well. They don't require a great lot of care like the other plants. There's no picking off of old dead flowers or anything like that. They're self-cleaning. So if you were to do that, then I'd put one in the centre, one here, and one here.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Keep
so
it
your
simple.
five would literally suit again this 14-inch basket.
Exactly. Now, again, like last week with the bed, you want to take into consideration your area. Like people drop in their baskets for us to do them up here, and I'll always ask them, is it in sun or shade?
Where is it going?
Yeah. So again, you have your plants for that as well.
So
So just come in and get your advice. Like
if what way your house is facing, really, whether it's going to face the sun or not, makes a huge difference.
A huge difference. Now, a lot of the baskets and a lot of bedding plant flowers, they do really like the sun. They'll perform that much better then as well.
Yeah. And we always want to get the best out of the flower.
Exactly. Yeah. So another thing then as well is your window boxes.
Right, so the window boxes. Now, I always have a little bit of an issue with the window box because my windowsill is kind of slanted. So obviously you'd need to kind of get something to try and level it off. Now, there's lots of different options. You could get your bit of wood or something like that.
Like that now, as you say, it's a slight slant on every windowsill because obviously the water has to flow off, so that's why that's there. So you want then your window box and you put it on, and then you come out in the morning, especially when you put trailing plants in your window box and the weight is on the front of it, what's it going to do but turn over?
I know, you don't want that.
Now, sometimes what I would do with window boxes if I was doing them up is to put stone at the bottom of it so that there's a bit of weight and that keeps it down.
Okay.
Another thing then, even if, we'll pretend this is a piece of wood, even if you just put it underneath it, and just it brings it back into the window, your trailing plants will come down so you won't see whatever you've put underneath it.
Right.
Or else you can also get a little frame made up, kind of like a little iron bar that you put one here and one here, and that secures it in. And again, you won't, people worry, oh, sure, the big black bar, you won't see that after a while.
No,
once
that's
the flowers
focus
grow,
will be on the
fine.
flowers. Excellent. Okay, so with the window
box, then you fill it up with your compost, and again you'd put your sprinkling of Osmocote.
Okay.
And then your tiny bit of Swell Gel, I'll call it, or Stay Wet.
Yeah.
And it's just a little sprinkling as well.
Sprinkle, like the salt guy with the steak.
Don't put too much.
Not too much. Okay, so you're mixing it now up with your hands.
Into the top couple of inches. Yeah.
Excellent.
Now again, the compost is important as well. Get a good compost that will actually hold the moisture.
See, that's all about holding the nutrients,
yes,
isn't it?
It is. Now, with the window box, this is only a small one, we're just doing up for a demonstration purpose. You'd put a high plant in the middle of it.
Like your geranium.
Right. Now, you can see that's dry.
Oh, it is very dry.
Very, very dry. So what I would do with that first, before you'd actually plant it, is water it in the pot.
Okay, in the pot.
Because you can even see now, look at it, it's kind of falling apart in my hand.
Yeah,
so that's a good example now.
Okay, well, it's always what we're here for, to make good examples of what to do and what not to do.
So again, you'd firm it down at the level of the soil that's there.
Excellent.
So that's your centre plant in the middle.
Okay.
Now, you want to go to the side of it. Again, I'd want a little bit of trailing.
Yeah.
So with that then, you just have your petunias. Dig your little hole and pop it in there and firm it down.
And that's just at the corner?
That's just at the corner, and then we go another little bit of a different colour, which is a Surfinium purple one.
Okay.
And that's lovely, and we put that on the other side.
Excellent.
And just to firm them down. And again, as you say, I am tending to push them to one side, out to the front.
Out to the front,
yeah. Now, what we really want is just a little bit of height at the back of it. So I'm just going to use my Sweet William again.
Okay.
So you'd have your Sweet William on this side.
Just simply pressing it down, making a little hole, and then getting around the base of it again.
And you've one then on the other side then as well.
Fabulous.
Now we have a hole in the middle, so we're actually going to go with a little white bacopa, or you could go with a Busy Lizzie even, so something nice, even bushy in the front of it.
Yeah, and again we're complementing the colours again.
And you've got your little white Alison that you can pop in as well. And that would be lovely.
Beautiful.
Now, with your window boxes, make sure there's holes in the bottom of them.
Yeah, I was going to say that at the start. You were
like
talking about putting a little bit of stone at the bottom, but of course the holes at the bottom is possible.
Yeah, because I did actually pass some shop this morning now I was going into, and the pots were swimming. Swimming in water.
No,
so it was like, they need holes in it, otherwise for drainage. So with all them then, once you're finished planting, you water them in.
Okay.
Go back about maybe 1 or 2 hours later and give them a bit of feed, your Miracle Grow or your tomato food.
Okay.
And just to keep feeding them about every 2 weeks and deadheading as you're going along.
But unless it's really dry. If it's really dry,
if the compost...
The weather. No, I'm talking about if the weather gets really dry, if you get a little spell of weak.
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering, when do I water? How often do I water? It's very hard to tell a person. If you've got sunshine every day, you need to water your hanging baskets every morning or every evening.
Yeah.
Your window boxes will last that bit longer. Again, you lift them up, you'll kind of know how light or heavy. But every second day anyway for window boxes. Now, if you've got dull, rainy, damp days, you're talking about every couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah, but watch your hanging baskets especially.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be the main thing.
Now, another fabulous we just talked about really quick is the this one. I love this because it's got a little tube and it's got a kind of a raised area. So this is going back to what you had spoken to before about watering from the bottom.
Exactly.
So
this is a great one. It's called a self-watering. Well, it's not self-watering, but you don't have to put the water in, but it helps in the watering. So you've got your window box, and then the insert sits up a little bit higher.
On top,
so you've actually got about the 2 inches down underneath.
Yeah.
Now, when that's covered over with all compost, you won't see the pipe on the very top of it.
Yeah.
So you'd pour your water
down there. It's very
and
handy.
that'll flow in underneath, and it'll absorb the water up. And that's absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
It saves on the watering. Something like that, then you obviously wouldn't have to water it
as often.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it, and it helps an awful lot.
Okay, so again, low maintenance. I like this. Low maintenance. I love my low maintenance.
And all pots, like, they come in loads of different colours to suit whatever colour you have in the house, so whether it's black, whether it's green or white or brown, they'll be fine.
Something definitely to look for. Now, finally, before we finish up, we've got our big pot over here.
The big pots outside the door. Again, you need something tall in the middle, whether it's a nice daisy plant like that will flower the whole summer, or if you wanted something that's there all year round.
You could have a little buxus.
You have your buxus in the centre, and then you can just put your busy lizzies, your trailing petunias, anything like that. But again, if you're coming in and you've got pots at home, just say the dimension of the pot, or have a look at a pot here in the garden centre. It's something that size. We can pick plants out for you.
Perfect.
There's no problem. Like, I mean, a lot of people go, God, I haven't got a clue what to plant like or whatever.
Ask.
That's what we're here for.
That's what you're there for. Exactly. Yeah.
So as you can see, we're surrounded by
the colour is
all the colour here.
All the possibilities are here, and if anyone wants to check it out on Facebook, they can see or come down to Boyles here and ask to see some of the hanging baskets.
Exactly.
James will be more than happy to help, won't he?
And we're here the bank holiday weekend. We're open all bank holiday weekend. Well, not the Sunday, but we're open Monday between 12 and 5.
Excellent.
And every other day then from 8:30 to 5:30.
Brilliant. Excellent. So there'll be lots of more planting going on for the bank holiday weekend. That's great. Trish, thanks again for all your help and all your tips here from Boyles of Killorglin. Lots of great ideas. Get planting, get out, make the front of your house or the back of your side of your house look amazing with lots of beautiful colour. Thanks again for Trish. Thanks to you for watching. Remember to keep an eye out for us on Facebook and on YouTube, and you'll get all the visuals to go along with the show. Until next time, for myself, Alan, Trish and everyone here at Boyles, we'll talk to you next week. Happy gardening.